August 9th, 2014, track in upstate New York. You're driving, dirt track, and Kevin Ward ends up dying. He gets out of his car, and your car hits him, and he dies. What do you want us to know about that night?
My worst enemy, I hope they would never be put in the position I got put in that night. I remember passing Kevin, and I remember half a lap later the caution comes out. And we come around, and I see his car, and I was looking because I'm like, that's the guy I just passed. And I'm like, we didn't touch each other, and I was trying to figure out what happened and trying to figure how bad it was, if he was going to, he had a flat tire for sure. I'm like, I was looking at his car trying to see if, he was going to be able to get it fixed. And look up, and there he is on the racetrack. I had no idea he was out of his race car.
When did you know he had died?
I knew, so after we made contact, they have one-way radios that we run in, and they're screaming red on the radios, so everybody's to stop. And so I'm past them, and they're behind me, and I can't see what's going on. And the guy that was the series owner came up on a four-wheeler. I said, "Is he all right?" He goes, "It doesn't look very good. It's pretty bad." And so they pushed everybody off the racetrack, and I knew at that point it was really bad.
You settled a wrongful death lawsuit April of 2018. You can't get closure on something like that, but how do you move? You still have to drive. How does that affect you as a driver?
There were so many moments outside the car when you weren't busy that you were always thinking about it. And you're always thinking about what if, and if I'd have been looking here, not there.
Because it's one thing to affect you as a driver. Obviously, as a person,
well,
you can't hide from it.
No, and you can't change it. And that was the worst part about it. There was nothing I could do to change what happened. And it's like you sit there and you try to rerun it in your mind over and over, and then you see the media get a hold of it. And then you read comments on social media that people are writing. And then you start questioning what you saw and what happened. You start questioning it off of what other people that weren't in the car and weren't even at that track are saying. And you catch yourself getting engrossed in all that.
Did you talk to your parents about that?
Absolutely.
Any advice from them?
How could a parent have any advice for that? It's, like I say, it's a scenario that my most bitter, worst enemy in the world, I wouldn't want them to have to go through that. I wouldn't want anybody to have to go through that. You can't replace a life. And if I'd have known that was going to be the outcome of that night, I'd have stayed in Watkins Glen and raced the Cup race the next day and skipped that night of racing, because I was there to have fun. And then this happens.